This is the brand new LEGO Star Wars 327th Star Corps Clone Troopers Battle Pack. This set retails for a crazy $50 Canadian, 45 USD, or 40 euros. And the pieces to justify that price come in at $258. And this set just released August 1st, 2025. On the box it shows you an outline of everything you get in the set, including the Walker, the 3 battle droids, and the 4 327th Clone Troopers, along with that spider droid. On the back of the box you get another image of the Walker, spider droid, and then the 2 battle droids giving up to the clone troopers. Now onto the figures. The first thing you'll notice is that there is a new cauldron piece, which I actually really like. Does it justify the price hike? I don't know, but it is a pretty welcome addition. Moving up, you'll notice that the helmet has some battle damage on the sides and on the front. Overall though, the printing on the helmet I think is done pretty well. The only problem is that I don't know if I want battle damage on every single one of my clone troopers. Because this is 2025, it comes with 3 rangefinders, so you can deck out 3 of your clones. On the top of the torso you can see where the rest of the cauldron should be and where it should hang in front, as well as an ammo pack right next to it. On to the right of that you can see that there's a bunch more battle damage on the side, and then the farther you go down the more battle damage you see. Moving on to the legs, you see the space where there should be a printed cloth piece for him, but of course there's none in these sets. For the most part I can forgive this for a battle pack, but the fact that it's not on Commander Bly is crazy to me. But we're going to keep this one to just the battle pack here. On the side of the torso you can see that they've used yellow arms, which I think looks relatively good, and then on the back of the torso there's some pretty good printing, including some ammo packs and the back of his armor. Moving on to the final 3 minifigures in this set, it's the Super Battle Droids, which are pretty standard by now, but the coloring looks good, and honestly I prefer these to B1 Battle Droids right now. It's been a nice change over the last couple years, especially when we hadn't gotten them in a long time before that. Moving on to the build section of this review, there's this new little cannon, which looks kind of cool. I mean, I don't really have much of a use for it, but it's cool they threw it in, I suppose. It works pretty well, just like any other stud shooter would work, so yeah, there's that. Next we move on to the spider droid, which I think the headpiece is the best one they've ever designed, but I think the legs they've done are the worst they've ever designed. As you can see, there's 4 joints in each leg, and this front joint is really irritating and annoying to deal with. I find it gets stuck a lot, and it's pretty weak when you consider the rest of how heavy the leg is. Overall, I think the spider droid is fine. Like I said, the cannon on the front looks really good, the eyes are fine, and the design they choose to do for the head actually looks the best in my opinion out of the last few we've gotten. Moving on to the ATRT. I actually really like this thing. I think it's a major upgrade from the 501st one we got, especially due to its more accurate size, although it is smaller and you're paying a lot more for them, but I digress. I still think this is the best ATRT we've gotten since the turbo tank. I think the legs are much more to proportion, as well as the body, and even the antennas look better in this one in my opinion. Overall, I think I just much prefer how this one looks compared to the blue ones we used to get. And because this is not the 501st battle pack anymore, but the 327th, you see that insignia on the side right here. There's also a couple more stickers on the front, including a down arrow, and then this grill piece also on the front. I have to say, when I first saw the images for this one, I really thought the yellow was going to be too much, but it's actually a really nice shade, kind of like a race yellow, but it's done really well. It matches the 327th Troopers pretty close. For some reason, to me, the color on this ATRT looks a little bit lighter than the one on their arms, but it seems to match their helmets well, so I'm not really sure. That might just be my eye being weird on me, but that's what it looks like to me. There's also this printed piece which is supposed to sit above the cockpit and gives the pilot a little bit more controls. I also think the detail is much better, especially these pieces on the legs make it look kind of like hydraulics, and even up on the seat underneath this little grill piece it also looks like there's more hydraulics on top. One thing you also notice is that the antennas move back and forth. Unless you want to mess with them, you can, but I think they look fine just standing straight up. These pieces also act as handles, so you could have 2 or 3 of these clone troopers up on top of the ATRT. Kind of look weird up here, but I mean, you can do it if you want to. Put all your characters in one spot. The only real gripes I have with this set is I don't exactly love how the toes connect, although they do look better. It feels kind of off when they don't fully connect onto the bottom of the foot. But that's not really the biggest deal in the world, it just bothers me. I'm sure it doesn't bother everyone. And right below this headlight piece, you'll notice the one thing I really don't like about this set, which is the stud shooter. Practically, it works really well. I mean, it's just a stud shooter on the front, it looks like it's supposed to. It shoots like it's supposed to add a little bit more action to your battle pack. You can fight the spider droid with it, or you can knock down your B1 battle droids, it's up to you. Personally, I wish LEGO would add 2 or 3 extra pieces so you could change it out to a more accurate looking gun. Maybe one that isn't so bulky and almost half the size of the actual set. But that's just me being pretty nitpicky if you ask me. I really do think this set looks fine. The overall price for this set, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 based on one simple fact. If we look at what the old 501st Battle Pack was, not only was it bigger, you get 1 less minifigure in that set, but you also get an entire extra build in the speeder. Now that was 5 years ago, I understand that, But these are all the same clone troopers. Even though they're a new mold, I still think it should have been $40, around the same price. I know you do get a spider droid in this set, but it still feels like you were getting way more out of the 501st Battle Pack. I will say though, the price on the ATRT walker actually doesn't bug me that much because I do prefer this one to the bigger one. That one also had a stud shooter, but I think it doesn't look quite as bad because it's smaller and the actual vehicle is quite bigger. Anyway, 6 out of 10 on the price. I think that's fair. Beyond the issues with the cloth that I think should be on this set, I actually think the minifigures are pretty good. The battle droids I also really like, so I'm actually going to give the minifigures in this set a 9 out of 10. Now that might be a little high considering how much I complain about them, but I think it's a fair rating. Now the builds, regardless of the price, meaning I'm not counting the price in this build at all, I think it's an 8 out of 10. It could have been even better if the spider droid was better, but I really like the ATRT, so that's why it's going to stick at an 8 out of 10. The build process, I mean, this for a battle pack, it's pretty simple. I think there's a couple cool techniques, but that said, I don't really like the spider droid and how it's built, so I'm just going to give it kind of a benchmark 8 out of 10. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the actual build process of this set. Now, the overall rating for the set, I'm actually going to give an 8 out of 10, and it would be higher if the price wasn't so much more expensive than the 501st one. I know $10 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're dealing with 30 less pieces and a super downgrade in size, I think it's pretty justified. So thank you for watching, and let me know what you want to see next reviewed.